Chatham grabs the checkered flag. He wins.
Back victories for Sam Bachman as he takes the win at the Port Royal Speedway.
Wins another one at the Knoxville Raceway. Blake Chapman wins.
A corner down here through the front straightaway. Watson gets the win here tonight.
Chad Greggs, a Knoxville Nationals champion. But to the checkered flag, Blake Christopherson, your winner at Lernerville. Here they come off of turn number 4. To the checkers, Templeton takes the win.
Through the back stretch into corners 3 and 4 out here. It's going to be Watson for the win.
The 56 wins. First time winner Randy Streets.
But your winner at Weed Sports is going to be Brandon Templeton in the Salty Dog.
Good evening, everyone, and welcome to the championship night here as we get things fired up here. Making sure we got all our overlays and everything working. And we get ready, set to rock and roll. Here we go. Qualifying commencing for your late models. There we see down on track, Randy Shreve. I'm trying to go and get it to where it'll bring up the live timing here on your end. Giving me a little bit of a pain, so give us a moment here. All right, here we go. Try to see if we can get it to come up. There it goes. All right, we're set and ready to rock and roll there. As you see them qualifying here, we'll go ahead and touch on your limited late model points here before we get rolling in your in the championship night of racing here with the limited late models. Oh, that's skinny. Yes. And here we got Randy Shreves leading the way in your limited late models. He got 598 points. Patrick Boyce in second with 522 points. Terry Landis, he's sitting third in points with 508. Andy Pat with 501 sitting fourth. Kurt Schatzer rounds out your top 5 in points with 450. Sixth, sitting right now, Dean Reynolds with 437. Trevor DeRue in 7th with 431. Jeff Barker there in 8th with 423 points. Bob DeGood in 9th position right now in the points with 415. Joseph Grandy with 406 will round out your top 10. All right, here we go. Heat number 1 on the board. Here is your starting grid for that heat. We got Pat Boyce starting out there on pole with Scott Riom there in second. Joseph Grandy there in third. Kurt Schatzer fourth. Sam Bachman rolls off tonight in fifth with Terry Landis in sixth. Randall Dixon in seventh. Andy Patton in eighth. Patrick Spangler there in ninth. And Clay Christopherson rounds out there in 10th for your championship night here in week number 12. All right, we're getting set to rock and roll here tonight. We just wait on them to get rolling here. We're sitting at Port Royal here tonight for your championship night of Coast to Coast. Hey, watch them all roll out here. Getting all lined up as you see here. We went through the grid. Bring it up one more time there. That was the Pat Boyce starting there on pole. And as we said, I believe if I said correctly, he's sitting currently second in points. Yeah, Patrick Boyce is second in points with 522. Now, I don't know how many points they can get in a night. But right now, yeah, second in points for Boyce. Sitting behind Randy Shreves. Okay, let him roll down there. Corner 1. We got here 6 laps the distance. We're Hometown Heroes, brought to you by A&J Custom Creations. So who's ready for some action here this Wednesday evening? And we get set to rock and roll here with our cars out there in front. We got Pat Boyce, as we said, as your control car out there on pole with Scott Riome in a 4 right above him. Kurt Schatzer there behind. 5x4, green flag, it's in the air. We're down and away here at Port Royal. Head on down there through corner number 1 and 2. The 5 there, or the 518 rather, of Schatzer Grandy's trying to find his way, getting down there to the bottom. Trying to find out, oh no, they get together there, coming out of turn 4, a couple of them stacked up. That's going to be Terry Landis, Scott Riome, stacking up there, coming on the corner number 4. You got the 87 of Andy Patton involved as well. He's now there into the top side. Joseph Grandy as your leader. Pat Boyce there second. Sam Buckman there third. Kurt Schatzer, he's sitting here in 4th right now. Randall Dixon in 5th. That's going to shake things up there as Terry Landis is still trying to keep it rolling out there. In about 8th right now. Andy Patton and Scott Riome out of this one. They're both there in the pits. 3 laps to go here in heat number 1. Down there off of 2, Pat Boyce. Now they're trying to battle for second with Sam Bachman. On his heels, down there on the inside. Dives down there, can't quite get it past yet, but gonna give it a run. But look out, here comes that 218 of Kurt Schatzer. He's making a heck of a run here. He gets himself up there in the 3rd. Little bit of a bounce there in corner number 1. As they roll down the backstretch now here, as we got that 007 Sam Bachman Airport down there underneath of Schatzer. As Schatzer stays tucked up there behind Boyce. Down there in the corner number 1. Dives it down there along the wall. He'll go and slur the slider. Up too high. Boyce going to come back down there to the inside. And they're going to get together up there at the top. Boyce ends up clearing himself across the nose of Schatzer. That'll let Bachman get up there into second now as they come down there into the bottom. Coming out of corner number 4 for your official results. Bachman gonna take that second spot. Boyce second, Schatzer third. Boyce third, Schatzer 4th. Grandy taking home the victory here in heat number 1. Here is your heat 1 results. Joseph Grandy out there taking a win. Sam Bachman there second, Pat Boyce there third, Schatzer in 4th. Clay Robinson 5th, Randall Dixon there 6th, Pat Spangler there in 7th, Terry Landis there 8th, Andy Patton in 9th, and Scott Riome in 10th. Both of those drivers, unfortunately, did not have the heat race they were hoping for. Now we got heat number 2 coming on grid. I got Ted York out there as the leader. And Maverick Seidel there in second, Randy Shreve third, Trevor Giroux in 4th, Bob DeGood there in 5th, Jeff Barker, he's rolling there in 6th tonight, Dean Reynolds comes out there in 7th, Armando Malgusa there in 8th, John Klamox there in 9th, Ryland Banks in 10th. That is your heat number 2. Got a good turnout here for our heat, or for our championship night. Now we're here in week number 12. Ted York second. Ted York starting there on pole here in this heat race. Now always 6 laps the distance. Here we go, down there, pace car pulls off. As I said, these are the limited late models here for the Hometown Heroes by A&J Custom Creations. Ryland Banks and John Comox there did not take the grid. They rolled down here in the corner number 1. Down there on the bottom side, Ted York getting a great ride, and he rolls it up there off of 2. The 56 there, Randy Shreves trying to get up there. And I believe, is it Randy that is our... Yeah, it's Randy Shreves, our point leader here tonight. Coming in, oh no, trouble once again here in heat number 2. As the 7 of Bob the Good gets spun around there into the outside wall. Jeff Barker's going to keep it rolling. Giving the spot back there to Bob the Good. Now roll down there off the corner. Now we got a fight going on up here. We got Ted York, Maverick, Seidel side by side. Now you see Randy Shreves. He's trying to get up there to Bells. Seidel into the outside wall down here out of corner number 3 and 4. Shreves up there along the outside as we see that lone car down there on the inside. That's Ted York. I wonder if he's going to get that bottom side to work or if that bottom side is going to fall away here. We'll have to wait and see. Here comes Shreves. He's getting underneath the 26 of Seidel. Seidel up there on the high side, and he's got Dean Reynolds coming there behind him. Or that's Guru. No, I'm sorry, that's Guru. I thought that was Reynolds, but that's Guru. Dean Reynolds is back here a little bit in that number 79. Working there off corner number 3 and 4. 2 laps to go here. They come out of 4. And now it'll be final lap here. One more time around. Seidel now up there at the top of the leaderboard with Shreves now there in second. Can Shreves do something here in the final corner? He's there on the back of the 26. He's going to try to look. He's got down there to the bottom side, but not enough time. Yeah, he'll come around there in second. Seidel, your winner here in heat number 2. Ted York there in third with Guru finishing in 14. Reynolds 5th. For your unofficial results, we'll get the official ones here in just a moment. All right, here we go. Your unofficial or your official results for heat number 2. Maverick Seidel there in first. Randy Shreves second. Ted York third. Trevor Guru 14. Reynolds 5th. Armando Malgosa there in 6th. Bob the Good there in 7th. Jeff Barker there 8th. John Clements there in 9th. Rylan Banks in 10th. All right, somebody's going to have to help me with John's last name there. All right, here we go. We'll be back after this short message.
These dollars had come together to support us, and we realized no, we didn't want to use them for us. We wanted to use them to help others.
The foundation has done so much for so many people. It helps any family that has somebody, whether it be a crew member or one of the drivers, that get hurt. We can help them to get through the situation.
I was injured in a non-wing sprint car accident that broke my neck and left me with a spinal cord injury. In the hospital 8 months, and it got really, really expensive, so having that extra help to help push me and my family forward was a big deal.
I was involved in a pretty gnarly sprint car crash. Found out my brain was swelling and bleeding. Pelvic bone was broken. I had 2 cracked vertebrae on my back, and I was in the ICU a little over a week. The Steve King Foundation reached out to my parents. We received a donation from them. Immediately, they started me on what's called neurofeedback, and insurance did not cover the neurofeedback appointments. So we received another donation from the Steve King Foundation. It really helped a lot, and I just want to say thank you. Thank you from the bottom of my heart to the Steve King Foundation for everything that they have done for me. This last Sunday, I got to turn laps in my modified here. That was my first laps back in a race car since the accident, and I truly believe that if it wasn't for the Steve King Foundation, I wouldn't be able to do that or be where I'm at today.
Yes, Steve's death is the reason the foundation exists, but it's Steve's life, and it's the lives of racers everywhere, is the reason we're able to do the work we do.
Hello? Yes. Yes. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I'd like to go and get a sample if possible, so that I know I get the right size. Large of both, and then I can, just a sample. That way I can make sure that I'm getting the right size next month. Yeah, because I know the extra large was definitely too big, and the mediums are just a tad tight. Yeah, it's changing the UPMC next month, or this month, and I gotta figure that all out, because I don't have my cards yet. No, that is correct. Thank you. Yes. Right, I understand. Okay. Sounds good. Alright, sorry about that. We had a little bit of a hiccup there. I had to handle something behind scenes real fast. Hopefully everybody got the grid up there, and I'm sorry, but it does not look like I got my end working at the moment. It seems to have locked up. Sam Bachman there in a second. Randy Shreves there third. Pat Boyce back here in fourth. Battling there beside. Yeah, my sides all goofed up here. We're going to try to get this looked away here. Yeah, Kurt Schatzer there in a fifth. Clay Christopherson there in sixth. They roll it out down there off the corner. And then Randy Shreve, your points leader here tonight. And right now he's sitting third. Sam Bachman, Randy, second in points? If I remember. No, Pat Boyce is second in points. So Randy out there in front, Bachman there second, Shreve there third, up there gets that outside wall, sparks flying there as he lets it fly Coming there off the corner, trying to see. We got about 20 to go if I'm looking at the screen correctly. But unfortunately, the screen size there for where I'm looking at that is a little on the smaller side. I try to get my overlay back and working on my end. Yeah, Pat Boyce out there in fourth. Clay Thompson there in fifth. Kurt Schatzer there in sixth. There comes alive for me. 19 laps to go. Well, now 18 laps. Grandy's out there in front. Bachman there second. Shreves there in a third. Clay Thompson in a fourth with Schatzer there fifth. Down there on the bottom side comes the boys with Dean Reynolds there in seventh. Back there in eighth, that's Trevor Garou. With Randall Dixon back here as well. You see him there in that 11, working there on the top side. You got the 79 there, if Dean Reynolds. Clay Thompson rolling down the back straightaway. Here in through turn 3 and 4, out there onto the front stretch. And you got the 18 there of Kurt Schatzer, Pat Boyce. In 6th, Dean Reynolds there 7th. Randall Dixon there 8th. Trevor Garou in 9th. Maverick Seidel back here in 10th. Now 11th has the 75. The 39 there. Patrick Spangler trying to get around him. Patrick dives down there to the bottom side. He'll get around coming down that front stretch. 15 laps to go. There you see Bachman in 2nd. Randy there in front. Clay Thompson there for it. Kurt Schatzer there 5th. Pat Boyce there in 6th. Off the bottom side. He comes up there, sliding to the outside wall. Dean Reynolds out here in 7th. He looks to the inside. He'll make contact there a little bit with Boyce coming there off turn number 2. Nothing major, though. They work down there through the back straightaway here in the corner number 3 and 4. He'll slide it down there. Slide it up in front of Boyce. Boyce is going to do the cut down. Slide it down there underneath him. Come down the front stretch in the corner number 1 and 2. Randy out there in front. Sam Bachman there 2nd. Randy Shreves there in 3rd. They come here, 13 laps to go for Randy. Bachman there 2nd. Shreves here in 3rd. Clay Thompson in 4th. Schatzer there in 5th. And Reynolds back here in 6th. And Boyce now gets back underneath him, coming there through 1 and 2. Down there on the inside as well, you see that number 75, Trevor Garou, trying to get underneath Dixon. Dixon gets around on the outside of Boyce. Here comes Patrick Spangler on the bottom side. Caution is out for Armando. Armando coming there off the corner. End up just sliding it around, gets a little loose. Rides the gun under control, and then he'll bring it to a stop down there on the bottom. And that is what's going to bring out your caution. You're on the pole, instant replay tonight here from On the Pole. Now you're watching here on FFTV. So Randy there out front. Sam Bachman there 2nd. Randy Shreves 3rd. Clay Thompson there 4th. You're also watching over at Coast2Coast Racing Network. I want to thank everybody, cheering everybody on here at Coast2Coast Racing Network. And the Coast2Coast Racing Network is your place to catch all your Coast-to-Coast racing action. Everybody single file back here for the most part for the time being. Trying to sort out, are we going single file, double file? We'll find out here as they come around here. Clay Thompson there for it. Kurt Schatzer there 5th. Dean Reynolds there in 6th. Looks like they are going to double up finally. Lights are off. They're going to go double. They're underway here tonight. Joseph Grandy out front. Sam Buckland there second. Clay Christopherson third. Championship night here at Port Royal. Few more laps and it'll be decided. Joseph Grandy out there in the 518. Gets off to a decent start up there on the top side. Bachman down there on the inside. Clay Christopherson there in third. Randy Shreve sitting here in the fourth now. Couldn't quite get the start he wanted to down there on the bottom side. Dives it in. He's going to work that bottom side hard. Coming here off corner number 4. 10 laps to go here as he's still stuck down there on the bottom underneath the 79. Dean Reynolds now. They'll get it slid up there trying to get up there underneath the 07. The 007 of Sam Bachman. Down here through turn 3 and 4. Caution out once again. This time for Ted York and Bob DeGood. Kurt Schatzer, Randall Dixon is off as well. Him all up there at the top. There comes the 18 coming down into the Pat Boyce 41. And he gets spun around there. There you see Dixon. Somebody loses a wheel somewhere. 7 there. Seven of Bob DeGood. Cats are all tore up there on the bottom. Ted York, some damage there on his machine. Watch here on another on the boys, the replay. He sat there down there on the bottom. There's Randall Dixon. And just nowhere to go. And try to figure out who loses that front wheel. Unsure really who. We're here at Championship Night. Coast2Coast Racing Network. Here in the booth with myself, Flinkster from Flinker Farm TV on the pole. Joseph Grandy out there. Leading the way, Christopherson there second, Bachman there third, Reynolds fourth. We got Shreves in fifth. And going single foul for the restart as we're under 10 to go here tonight at Port Royal. Who's going to be your champion here tonight? Shreves is your points leader. Currently sitting there in fifth. Pat Boyce in second, sitting there in sixth. And come there out of turn number 4, way up there against that outside wall. Got to be real careful not to get that back in to swing out. We see the 26 there do just that. Getting there into the gas, kind of slides it down here onto the bottom side, inside L, in that 26. And getting a run on Reynolds. And Shreves, as he gets down there through on the bottom side of 3 and 4. Can't quite get it to work though. And he has to come back up there. Still down there on the top side. Can't seem to get the momentum. But look here at that 39, Patrick Spangler. He's really getting that bottom to work for him as he gets up there in the 7th now. Now he's battling Pat Boyce. He'll get that spot away from him. Pat Boyce now has to go down there and try the undercut coming there out of the corner. Joseph Grandy out there in the front. Clay Christopherson there second. Bachman there third. Reynolds there fourth. Shreves here in fifth. And still should be enough to hang on to the championship here tonight. Hailing down here out of corner number 1 and 2. Down through the back straightaway. Joseph Grandy out front. Christopherson there second. Bachman there third. Dean Reynolds fourth. working out the corner. And caution back out here. Third caution this time for Scott Rio. Another on the pole, instant replay here at Coast2Coast Racing Network. Ah, man, the 26 slid up into Rio. So Seidel slides up into Rio, and Rio takes a really hard lick to the outside wall. And unfortunately, I think somebody else got a little bit of a piece of that there as well. I believe Terry Landis got a piece of that as well. There in the 161. Yeah, you got a little bump there and up there into the outside. Oh, and up and over. Ow! Terry, you need on the racetrack. It's not time to exit. Man, what a ride. I hope he's okay. That is not the ride he wanted to take there off of turn number 4. Sam Bachman there out in third. Now Dean Reynolds for it. Randy Shreves still stuck back there in 5th. So third caution of the night here in your limited late models. And down off the 4, here they go, green flag is out, 4 laps to go. There you see Spangler down here on the bottom side trying to get up there, as well as Shreves as he works underneath Reynolds. Down here in the corner number 3 and 4. Reynolds falls back here into 4th. And head on out there in the corner number 1. Shreves still battles it out down there on the bottom side. Dean Reynolds up there up top. We got Bachman there in 3rd. Christopherson there in 2nd. And Grandy out there in the front. Coming down through that front straightaway. Bachman right there, right behind Christopherson. 2 laps to go. Shreves tries to get around Reynolds and just does not have the momentum. Ends up falling back a little bit there, coming off of turn 1 and 2. That bottom side just not there to make any passes right now. And we see Bachman trying the same thing and ends up falling back off of Christopherson. Final lap here. Dean Reynolds staying up top. He's going to get a run there on the outside of Bachman because Bachman's down there on the inside. That inside lane just not there as we see it cost Bachman 3rd place. Dean Reynolds there gets in the 3rd. Randy takes the win here at Port Row in the limited late models. Randy here on championship night brings the win here out of turn 4. As Joseph Randy takes home victory. And that number 5 machine comes down there on to pit road to come to victory lane. Vinny Wallach Christopherson there 2nd. Dean Reynolds in 3rd. Here is your finishing results for your limited late model. We got Joseph Randy out there in the front. Clay Christopherson 2nd, Dean Reynolds 3rd. Sam Bachman 4th, Randy Shreves there in 5th. Trevor Giroux in 6th, Patrick Spangler in 7th. Jeff Barker finishes tonight in 8th. Pat Boyd's there in 9th. Andy Patton there 10th. Maverick Seidel there in 11th. Kurt Schatzer 12th. Terry Landis there 13th. Bob the Good there in 14th. Ted York 15th. Armando Malgosa there in 16th. Scott Rion there in 17th. 18th, that's going to be... Come on now, why are you not... Oh, because I'm hitting the wrong thing. No. There we go. 18th, going to be Randall Dixon. John Kamaux there in 19th. Rylan Banks in 20th. That is your finishing order here tonight. Now let's see, do we have all the people we need to get with? We got Joseph Grandy, our winner. Good evening here, Joseph. How's it going?
Hey, what's going on?
It's going well, man. You got the victory here tonight.
Yeah, Fort Royal isn't my favorite track, but I seem to be pretty decent at it.
Well, I mean, some tracks that aren't our favorites seem to be the ones that we might be okay at.
And starting up front definitely helps in these cars for sure. They're all about momentum, keeping the wheels straight, and trying not to break your momentum.
Well, I noticed there as the race went on, it became harder and harder for drivers to get any momentum off that bottom side.
Yeah, usually with these slower momentum cars, especially Port Royal, you're going to want to wind around the top. It's the only way you're going to keep your momentum up, and you'll get a little more every lap.
For sure, and it's just, it was great racing out there whenever we had it, until that track worked in, and it became pretty much one lane around that top side.
Yeah, I don't know what was going on behind me. I wasn't paying attention. I just bagged the top the whole time. Had a good race, and then towards the end there, we got a few cautions in a row, and I think Clay came in second, held off Clay, and walked away with the win.
Great job. You got sponsor shout-outs? Anybody you want to thank?
Yeah, I'd like to thank all the guys that raised the bar, R&DB, Catalytic Recovery, Highlight Cinematography, Eagle Homes, Mad Rabbit, Shaggy TV. Appreciate Andy at AJ Custom Creations for sponsoring this, and all the guys at Coast to Coast, and appreciate you having a good broadcast.
Alrighty, our pleasure. Great job once again out there getting that victory here at Port Royal tonight.
Thanks, man.
All right, that was our victory. Now we'll get with Dean Reynolds. Good evening there, Dean. How's it going?
What's going on, Mr. Flieger? How you doing?
I'm doing well, and pretty sure I thought I saw the stat. Okay. I got two different things going on my screen. One says you finished fourth, one says you finished third, and I thought you finished third.
Yeah, we got third. Sam tried to do a little different line to see if he can get around Clay and Joseph there, and scrubbed off some speed, so I wound up staying on the top and going around, and we snuck one out.
Yeah, and that's what I was noticing there. There was just nothing left on that bottom for anybody to get any momentum to pass.
Yeah, I mean, the track rolls in a little bit different each race, but here it became top dominant. I think it's because we had a high car count. We had 20 cars out there, and then, wore out the track more than normal. And so I think that's what brought in the top.
Well, I think you needed to wear the track in a little extra.
Yeah, I mean, you just don't know.
You never do.
Sometimes when the track gets slick in the middle and the bottom, the top will still be there, and you can run up against the wall and still carry your speed. And sometimes, though, the top will get too thin, and the cushion will get thin, and then they'll bring the middle and the bottom in. So, but that's the beauty of dirt track racing.
For sure. I mean, you just never know how that track's going to wear in. I mean, and what some people don't realize is the atmosphere, that your weather plays such a role in how that dirt's going to behave.
Yes, it does. What you do with humidity and, daytime or nighttime and all that, everything plays into a factor.
More so than on asphalt, I think.
Oh, absolutely.
But you had a great race out there, and looking at the points, I want to say Shreve's got the championship here in the limited late models.
It is tough. I mean, he finished ahead of everybody that was in the hunt, but you don't know what number they're going to drop. So Patrick will get the points up probably right after this sprint race, and then we'll find out. You would think Randy won the championship, but you just don't know with the drops.
Alrighty. Well, we'll see. You have a great races coming up. And you got any sponsor shots? Anybody you want to thank there, Dean, for getting third place tonight?
Just want to thank the guys from FTM, Full Throttle Motorsports. Want to thank Katie Patton and AJ Custom Creations for the sponsorships so you can do the broadcast. And just want to thank you, Adam, for doing the broadcast.
My pleasure. And we'll see how all the rest of your night goes there, Dean.
Yeah, hopefully I get to talk to you again, my friend.
We'll see.
Take care.
All right, having Dean Reynolds, our third place finisher, and I'm not seeing anybody else. Whether it be, mainly looking for Christopherson, but don't see him. Christopherson, our second place finisher there for FTM. They're in the car number 51. So great job for him getting that second place there for Full Throttle Motorsports. And we're going to be back here shortly after these messages with the 360 wing sprints.
It's time for another edition of RSN Trackside, powered by Bob Johnson Auto Group on Rock Sports Network. Gets on the champion, trying to be a bit of a hiatus. So let's get.
Tonight we'll be talking about it.
These dollars had come together to support us, and we realized no, we didn't want to use them for us. We wanted to use them to help others.
The foundation has done so much for so many people. It helps any family that has somebody, whether it be a crew member or one of the drivers, that get hurt. We can help them to get through the situation.
I was injured in a non-wing sprint car accident that broke my neck and left me with a spinal cord injury. I was in the hospital 8 months, and it got really, really expensive, so having that extra help to help push me and my family forward was a big deal.
I was involved in a pretty gnarly sprint car crash, found out my brain was swelling and bleeding. Pelvic bone was broken, I had 2 cracked vertebrae on my back, and I was in the ICU a little over a week. The Steve King Foundation reached out to my parents. We received a donation from them. Immediately they started me on what's called neurofeedback, and insurance did not cover the neurofeedback appointments. So we received another donation from the Steve King Foundation. It really helped a lot, and I just want to say thank you. Thank you from the bottom of my heart to the Steve King Foundation for everything that they have done for me. This last Sunday I got to turn laps in my modified here. That was my first laps back in a race car since the accident, and I truly believe that if it wasn't for the Steve King Foundation, I wouldn't be able to do that or be where I'm at today.
Yes, Steve's death is the reason the foundation exists, but it's Steve's life and it's the lives of racers everywhere is the reason we're able to do the work we do.
Alright, we're back here at the Speedway. Here with the 360 wing sprint cars now for your A&J Custom Creations. And what's out there, here we'll get with our point standings now. Now we get with the 360 wing sprints. Terry Landis is your leader right now in the points with Randy Shreves there in second. Gavin Shaw in a third. Patrick Boyce in a fourth. Joseph Grandy in fifth in points. Terry Landis with 641. Randy Shreves there at 615. Gavin Shaw with 595. Patrick Boyce there with 517. Joseph Grandy there with 517. Reynolds in sixth with 494. Jeffrey Barger in 7th with 481. Andy Patton in 8th with 461. Stephen Mixler in 9th in point with 425. Bobby Good in 10th with 404. As we're here with qualifying underway, Scott Thompson out here. Yeah, you watch them all come alive here. Out of Tulsa, Oklahoma. Camden, New York for the 09 of Ted York. And we head on down here out of corner number 4. Now through 2. Now you see what qualifying can bring here. Gavin Shaw with a decent time, but he's going to be behind there of Patrick Spangler, who rolls out a 15.545. Ted York, as you watch him there on your screen, he'll roll into third with a 15.703. Jeff Barger, he's there in the 513 in 8th now with a 15.889, now back into 9th. So dropping down through on that board a little bit. Sam Lockman out there in that 007, trying to lay down his best time. He finished in he's finished in 4th last race. Battling there with Dean. Up there on the top side, ends up into the outside wall. That's going to be in no time there for Bachman. Isaac Salas out there on track, currently third with a 15.665. So, unfortunately, we do not know our champions as of yet. But we will get them eventually. Great season going on here at Coast to Coast. 6 laps of distance. Here is heat number 1. Heat number 1, it's 8 drivers. Dean Reynolds starts on pole with Ted York. They're in second. Isaac Salas, they're in the 5. As you'll see, Patrick Spangler there starting fourth in that car number 39. Terry Landis will start 5th with that 161. Stephen Goldner there in 6th. Pat Boyce in 7th. Sam Bachman in 8th. That is your starting grid here for heat number 1. And they are down and away here tonight. In the corner number 1, 6 laps your distance here for your 360 wing sprint cars. Hey, watch him come down the backstretch. Wheelie there from Dean Reynolds. Hey, get these cars warmed up. Hey, watch this race here on the Coast to Coast Racing Network. And we're on our way here in the corner number 1. Reynolds getting a great start down there on the bottom side. Same with Sal. He'll get it up there to the top side right there with the Ted York number 9. Off the corner they go down that front straightaway. We got the 39 there. Patrick Spangler trying to roll his way up there towards the front. He's now there in second down there in the corner number 3 and 4. Everybody's fighting for position. Reynolds out front, nobody around him. And they work down there out of turn number 1 now in the 2. Salas up there against that outside wall. He's got Landis down there underneath him. Working there off of turn number 3 and 4. Salas way up there against that outside wall. Spangler there in a second. He tried way down there along the bottom side. Working up there towards the front. Landis trying to get around there. You're watching the battle there of the 09 to Ted York. And York goes around a little bit too much. They're on there on the bottom side of the speedway. 2 laps to go here in heat number 1. With Dean Reynolds out front. Patrick Spangler there in second. Terry Landis in a third here at Port Royal here tonight. For heat number 1, they come up off the corner. Everybody's single filed out now. As they come through for the final lap. Here comes Landis. He'll get underneath of Salas, getting up there in the in the third. Salas up there along the outside lane, trying to work it back here off the corner. And it's going to be tight there for third place, but Landis on the inside in car number 161 will get third place over top of Salas. Spangler gets second. Reynolds there in first, getting the win. Now your official heat 1 results here. They're going to be Dean Reynolds getting the win. Patrick Spangler there second. Terry Landis there third. Isaac Salas there in fourth. Sam Bachman fifth. Pat Boyce sixth. Ted York seventh. And in eighth, that's Stephen Goldner. All right, heat number 2. Gonna look like it. We got Scott Thompson out there in front. Bob DeGood there in second. Gavin Shaw in third. Randy Shreves and Larry Moody there in a fifth. Jeff Parker rolled off 6th tonight with Maverick Seidel in that car number 26. Rolling off in 7th. Clay Gustafson in the 051 rolls off in 8th position here tonight. One more lap around the speedway before we get heat number 2 underway. Good evening, here, Jeff Bro over at Coast to Coast Racing Network. Hopefully everything is well with you. Cheering on your favorite driver here tonight. We got here over, if you're watching over at Flinger Farm TV, we appreciate you watching over there as well. But tonight, Coast to Coast Racing Network, the main platform, since we are here with the Coast to Coast Racing League. Coast to Coast Racing Network, your home for all your Coast to Coast racing action. I think I'm here off turn on the 4 for green flag in heat number 2. Down that front straightaway, Scott Thompson getting a pretty decent start there. Up there on the outside lane, that's Bob the Good trying to get up there to battle. That's 710, Gavin Shaw down there on the inside with the 56 there, Randy Shreves up there at the top side. Shreves getting a great run up there at the top side here, getting up there in the 3rd here in heat number 2. And he battled up there towards the front of the track. Can't quite get around the 710 as of yet, so Gavin Shaw still holds on in the 3rd. Here comes Shreves now getting a run on that top side. They work there off of turn 4. He will get it there now, and Shaw falls back into 5th with Moody getting around up back there in that number 73. And that 51 for starting down there on the inside. Okay, well, all come around here out of turn number 2. We got 3 laps to go. Soon to be 2 at Thompson. What a run here tonight by him as he's out front through the middle of the corner, coming there off a turn 4, out front, leading the way here with 2 laps to go in heat number 2. That number 8, driven by Scott Thompson. Bob the Good in 2nd right now, driving at number 7, Buffalo Wild Wings sprint car there in 2nd. Right behind him, though, is Randy Shreve, who's into the outside wall, just a tad there, coming down that front straightaway. Through the front straightaway on the visual results with Scott Thompson, your winner. Bob the Good in 2nd, Randy Shreves 3rd here in heat number 2. Heat number 2 results. They're going to be Scott Thompson getting the win. Bob the Good there in 2nd, Randy Shreves there 3rd. Larry Moody there for it. Gavin Shaw 5th. Clay Gustafson there 6th. Maverick Seidel in 7th. Jim Barter there in 8th. All right, here we go. Now, here for your warm-up. We'll be back after this short message.
these dollars had come together to support us, and we realized no, we didn't want to use them for us. We wanted to use them to help others.
The foundation has done so much for so many people. It helps any family that has somebody, whether it be a crew member or one of the drivers, that get hurt. We can help them to get through the situation.
I was injured in a non-wing sprint car accident that broke my neck and left me with a spinal cord injury. In the hospital 8 months, and that got really, really expensive, so having that extra help to help push me and my family forward was a big deal.
I was involved in a pretty gnarly sprint car crash. Found out my brain was swelling and bleeding. Pelvic bone was broken. I had 2 cracked vertebrae on my back, and I was in the ICU a little over a week. The Steve King Foundation reached out to my parents. We received a donation from them. Immediately they started me on what's called neurofeedback, and insurance did not cover the neurofeedback appointments. So we received another donation from the Steve King Foundation. It really helped a lot, and I just want to say thank you from the bottom of my heart to the Steve King Foundation for everything that they have done for me. This last Sunday I got to turn laps in my modified here. That was my first laps back in a race car since the accident, and I truly believe that if it wasn't for the Steve King Foundation, I wouldn't be able to do that or be where I'm at today.
Yes, Steve's death is the reason the foundation exists, but it's Steve's life, and it's the lives of racers everywhere, is the reason we're able to do the work we do.
All right, we're back here at the Speedway for your starting grid. For the main event of the 360 wing sprint car, starting on pole, Dean Reynolds with Scott Thompson. They're in second, both of which ran really, really well in their heat races. Patrick Spangler there will start third, with Bob Good in car number 7 starts in fourth. Cherry Landis in that 161 sprint machine is going to be starting in fifth. Randy Shreves, car number 56, starts in 6th tonight. Isaac Salas in machine number 5, going to play starting in 7th. The 73, Larry Moody, begins here tonight in 8th, with 007, Sam Bachman in 9th. Gavin Shaw, driving a 710, will be in 10th position to start their main event here tonight. Cat Boys, they're in 11th, car number 41. Clay Christopherson, the 051, and 12 here tonight to start the race. In 13th, that's going to be Ted York, driving at number 09. Will roll off in 13th with Maverick Seidel, driving car number 26. In 14th tonight. And in 15th, that's going to be Stephen Goldner, driving at number 30, with Jeff Parker in 16th with the 513. That is your starting grid here tonight for your 360 sprint division here of the Hometown Heroes. Turn number 4 to get this race underway. Dean Reynolds will lead him to the flag. Finished third in the limited late models here tonight, starting on pole in the 360 wing. Down there on the inside, he'll bring it along there. The 8 there of Scott Thompson. Has a little bit of issues getting underway, and he'll get down there. Oh no! They get together down there on the bottom side. Landis around down there in that 161. We got a couple others involved with Sam Bachman and Isaac Salas also involved down there at the bottom side. Before we even make it through lap 1, we got caution number 1 here in the 360 sprint. Watch it. 8 gets into the outside wall, ends up coming down there into the corner. A little bit too shallow there, gets across the nose of Terry Landis. And wow, man, what a split there by those drivers getting by Landis. That was amazing as they didn't hit him. Watch Landis here. We'll watch this in slow motion here. Coming down here into corner number 2. Or, I'm sorry, into corner number 3. Watch this number 8 up there on the top side. He'll come down there across, as we said, getting into Terry Landis tried to stay out of him. Here comes Salas down there on the bottom side. Around he goes. Now watch these next few cars. Watch these cars here. They come around here. You'll see that 161 do a donut in the middle of the racetrack. And these drivers just split them. There you see, that is the 26 going up high, the 41 on Boyce going down there. There you see the 30. Man, oh man. What a shot there that was. And we got him coming around here. As we said, our first caution. Randy Shreves there in the 56. Bobby Good in the 7. Patrick Spangler starting there on the inside once again in 3rd. Pretty much re-racking them as they didn't complete a lap. This is start take 2, pretty much, as they all get back in line. Coming there off corner number 4. Green flag out. Reynolds up there to the top side. The 8 of Thompson getting a much better start this time, and he gets up there underneath. They're coming into corner number 3 and 4. There comes Spangler up there on that top side, getting that to rip the top. Problems back there towards the back for that number 26, Maverick Seidel. They work down through the back stretch there. Coming there off the corner, Scott Reynolds out there on the inside. Patrick Spangler, he ends up falling back to 4th. He tries to battle it out down there on the inside underneath the 8 of Scott Thompson. 56 going to make it 3 wide with Shreves up there on the top side. With the 8 down there in the middle. Stuck 3 wide. Now they'll have to go back up there to the top side. We'll see what Spangler does. Spangler goes up there to the top side now to try to work that around. Now they come down through the back stretch. 21 laps to go. Terry Landis back there in the 161. You got the 73 there of Larry Moody. Working there off turn number 4. Here comes Salas squeezing his way up there on the top side. Not enough room as of yet, but he's still up there. Going to try to see if he's got something up there that'll help him. And they come there out of turn 2 down that back straightaway. The 26, Maverick Seidel, still working to try to make up position for himself. As Landis now, or I'm sorry. Oh no, and we got problems there for Isaac Salas as Salas broke the front wheel on that machine and ends up into the outside wall. Once again, now that definitely broke. As there goes the swing, and he is going to bring out caution number 2 possibly. Down there on the speedway in corner number 1. No, he won't. Caution stays away when he stays green. Reynolds there in the front. Shreves there 2nd. Patrick Spangler 3rd. Spangler top and 4th. Goldner there in 5th here in the main event for your 360s here tonight. And you watch them all come storming there out of corner number 4. Salas ends up out of this race. Where was he in the points though? That's going to be interesting to see here as we pull it up here. Where was Salas in the points? All right, Salas was down towards the bottom. Yeah, Salas was in 19, so unfortunate night for him. He was showing some speed there late in the run, and oh no! Spangler goes disappearing over the guardrail. Spangler ends up automatically in the pits for going over top of the guardrail out there on the back straightaway. And we got Christopherson in there in the 51 trying to get underneath it. Randy Shreves, Dean Reynolds out front. He seems to have a number on this 360 here tonight. There comes Corbin down here across the line in the corner number 1 and 2. Oh no, another one up and over. That'll bring out the caution there as Stephen Goldner. And that number 30, I believe that was SSR on the side of that wing. Well, what used to be the wing. Man, oh man, what a tumble that was there. Hey, watch him down there in the corner number 1. Oh no, that's SGR. Hey, watch him come down there across in the corner number 1. What a wild ride there for Stephen Goldner. Hey, come back here into the pits. Well, once again, we're back out here. Second caution here tonight. AC Landis right there behind the 7 of Bobby Good. Behind that is the 26 of Barrett Seidel. Or Barrett Seidel, sorry. There's double 7 of Bachman. Pat Boyce back here in the 41. And we were saying your top 3 in points for your 360s is Terry Landis, Randy Shreve, and Gavin Shaw. Randy Shreves right now is in second. Terry Landis is sitting there in a fifth in that 161 as he gets up there on the top side. Alright, you see Landis up there at the top side. Hey, work down there off of turn 1 and 2. Lights are out. Pace car is going to pull off. Hand of the field over to Dean Reynolds. Dean Reynolds working him down the back straightaway. Pace car off now. Hey, come by the pit entrance. Off here through the corner. Off corner number 4, down through the front straightaway. Here they go. Landis there in a pit. He's going to try to get up there and battle with Gustafson. And we got a battle going on there behind him. The 8 there of Thompson as well. Hey, Gustafson up there on the top side with Landis working underneath. Reynolds out there in front. Shreves in second, trying to gain some ground on Reynolds, and just does not quite have the momentum as of yet. 11 laps to go here at Fort Royal Fort, the 360 wing division. And roll off here, off the start, down here in the corner, number 1 and 2. Back out there on the front stretch, down through 1 and 2, onto the back stretch now. As they work there, down through, off the back stretch. We see Dean Reynolds down there off the bottom. Up there towards the top side, you see there is Landis going underneath of the 8 of Thompson. The Good does the same thing, coming there off turn number 2 now with 9 laps to go. With Randy Shreves out there in front. Or, sorry, out there in second. Dean Reynolds out there in front. Clayton Thompson there third. Caution back out, this time for Bat Boyce. And Gavin Shaw. They're all battling hard back here at the back of the pack. There you see Pat Boyce, and oh man, what a clump that was. Cars just everywhere. That was a 7-10 Gavin Shaw and 30 Goldner, Maverick involved as well. Third caution here in your wing sprint division. Still front is Dean Reynolds, followed by Randy Shreves. They work there off the corner, down here through the front straightaway. Green flag is out. They work down there off the corner, through off the straightaway they go. Dean Reynolds out there in front. Randy Shreves there in second. Quaker Stubbs in there third. Terry Landis there in fourth. Bob the Good in fifth. And Jeff Barker in sixth. Larry Moody there in eighth. Stephen Goldner there in ninth. Ted York in 10th with Gavin Shaw in 11th. Scott Thompson in 12th right now. Dean Reynolds out there running away with it right now as Thompson's there in second. Shreves down there on the inside. Now moving it up there to the high side. Right there behind Chris Thompson. They try to battle it out there. 4 laps to go here as Dean Reynolds brings it through turn 3 and 4. And it's there in 4th. And it's going to be interesting to see how this season plays out for the 360s. As I think it's going to be Landis out there leading the points, the 641. Randy Shreves with 615. So it's going to be interesting to see how, whenever they figure what they call the drop weeks, it's going to be interesting to see how it plays out as Shreves is just in front of Terry Landis here coming off of corner number 4. Corner number 2. 2 laps to go. Last lap now for Dean Reynolds here as he comes out of turn 4, coming across the stripe. 1 lap to go here for Dean Reynolds. Quaker Stubbs in there second. Randy Shreves there in third. Terry Landis back here in 4th. That is battling back down there through the front, or through the back stretch into corner number 3 and 4 for the final time. Dean Reynolds, your winner here in the 360 Sprint Car Division at Port Royal. Quaker Stubbs in there second. Randy Shreves there in third. Terry Landis in 4th. All right, there we go. All right. Great job by these drivers. We'll get with their results right now. Here we go. Your predicted result for the 360 Sprint Division. Dean Reynolds there in first. Quaker Thompson there second. Randy Shreves there third. Terry Landis 4th. Bob the Good there 5th. Jeff Barker 6th. Larry Moody there in 7th. Gavin Shaw in 8th. Ted York in 9th. Scott Thompson in 10th. Stephen Goldner there in 11th. Sam Bachman in 12th. Maverick Seidel there in 13th. Pat Boyce in 14th. Patrick Spangler 15th. Alex Allen there 16th. And 17th, that's going to be, there is no 17th. So that is your finishing order here tonight. Congrats on these winners. Drivers now here as they get rolling. Good evening there, Randy. How's it going?
Yeah, not too bad, not too bad.
Well, you did a great job getting up there in the third tonight, finishing ahead of Terry Landis. Do you think that'll be enough to try to get ahead of him in points?
I'm almost sure that I got it. It'd be real close if I didn't. But me and Terry had a good battle all season, and it's definitely fun. And I'm glad to be up here on the podium with these guys. Kind of smacked the wall a little bit there, messed up my car, and handling kind of went away on it. And just kind of had to settle for third. And I knew I didn't want to throw away the championship and keep trying to dog that thing on the top and wreck it and screw it all up. So I just tried to play it safe.
Well, I know going into tonight you are about, it looks to be a little less than 20 points between, well, a little more than 20 points between you and Landis. Landis being in the top spot with 641 points. You're in second with 615 coming into tonight.
Yeah, it's definitely going to be a close one for sure. We'll see how it all unfolds, and hopefully I got it. I'm pretty sure I got the late models, and also got a Rebels championship. So not a bad season for me this year.
But no, I can confirm. It looks like the points were updated for the limited lates. 12 of 12 races up there for the standings, and you were out front with 667 points. So I would have to say that you got the limited late model championship.
Yeah, it's just awesome to win championships in this league. It's just it's definitely a blast running with these guys, and everything they do, and you always get a reminder of it. You always get a little trophy or engraving or something. I've got some pretty cool trophies from Andy in the past, and it's always fun running with these guys.
Well, you did a great job out there getting the third place here in the 360s. We'll have to wait to see how the drop weeks and everything come into play, and then looking here, you got the limited late championship wrapped up, and you ended up getting second in the limited late model race too, and I didn't get a chance to talk to you before you hopped over here to the 360s.
I think I actually finished fifth in that. I kind of screwed up there at the end, but that's all right. I think Clay got second.
Oh, that's right. Clay got second. Yeah. Yeah. You got fifth because somebody got fourth. I forget who. Man, it's already one of those nights. Great job there getting that third place in the 360s. You got sponsor shots. Anybody you want to thank for getting the third spot and having such a great season here, getting the championships all wrapped up here in certain areas?
Oh, yeah, for sure. Definitely want to thank Coast2Coast for all they do. You, Adam, for the broadcast. And definitely got to thank Andy over at A&J Custom Creations for all he does, sponsoring these things and, getting the trophies in order and all that. And definitely want to thank my son, Dylan Trees, for painting my car. My buddy, Mike McCoy, for watching. And my boss, Jeff Spann, and his wife, his whole family. And just everybody for watching, man.
Alrighty, well, congrats there again for getting third in the 360s. Are you going to be out for the midgets at all?
Yeah, they're always fun to drive, so I'm going to end my night with those.
Alrighty, well, we'll see you out there.
Yep, we'll see you, buddy.
All right, Randy Shreve, third place finisher, and possibly your limited late model championship winner. Good evening there, Dean. How's it going?
Well, we're doing a little bit better, Adam. So we got to talk to you again, and this time actually we finally pulled one out. Had a little bit of luck, and we got a win the last week of the season.
Well, you can at least say you got the win during the season.
Yeah, it's still been a decent year. I got quite a few podiums, and there's so many good drivers here in Coast to Coast that sometimes you need some chips to fall your way. But the track was the way I like it. I like Port Royal. I like it up against the wall. And, when you see Spengler and Goldner have a little bit of a problem there, that kind of helps a little bit too, because, you always got to watch them. They're so good. They're just guys that have a lot of experience and they're so fast. But, I was going to give them a run and give them a heck. And then, Randy, who's fighting for the championship, anyone that fights for a championship, they have speed. And he was right behind me, but I was not looking back. I was just going to go as hard as I can and hopefully hang on. I almost threw it away with about 2 to go. I got in the turn 2 wall and I couldn't get it off the wall. And Clay got really close on that, but, we got off the wall and finally brought it home.
Oh, yeah, you did a great job. And Spangler, I don't know what happened to him. He ended up in the backstretch wall and up and over it.
Yeah, the track's so fast and rough. It's so easy. These cars get so light on the front end. And you can make a lane change without even trying. And you might get into somebody and you don't mean it. And, it happens. These cars are just, I was flat out. I didn't lift until the last yellow. I had the foot to the floor the entire time. And then when the last yellow came, the tires seemed to seal over a little bit. And I went into turn 1 and I'm like, whoo, well, I better lift here and burp it a little bit. And I did. But, stuff can happen at Port Royal, especially with the bumps and speed.
Yeah, it definitely looked like there was rough sections of the track here tonight.
In the turns 1 and 2 always gets bad, and you got to try to hit the bumps just right with your car just enough sideways so you kind of skim over them the best you can. Sometimes if you let off the gas a little bit and go in straight, he'll grab your car and put you in the wall. So you got to hang on there. 3 and 4 wasn't bad. 3 and 4 stayed pretty consistent. You could sail it in there and hold your foot and come out high. And 3 and 4 were nice, but always 1 and 2 so tricky.
You did a great job bringing home the victory here in the 360 sprints. Unfortunately, I don't think you're in the hunt for the championship there, but it's still a great job bringing home the victory.
Yeah, I got that job that makes me miss races, and which is okay. I do have an outside chance tomorrow with the 358s and big blocks, but Coast to Coast has 2 drops, which helps a lot of people, but my 2 drops always seem to be weeks that I'm not here. And, that hurts a little bit in the points because you're dropping did not starts versus dropping races where you had a chance to get more points. But that's part of the deal. They shouldn't drop any more than 2. Quite frankly, they're very nice to drop 2, so it keeps me in a little bit here and there. And then, we'll see what happens tomorrow, and maybe we'll get a little lucky.
All right, anyway, we got sponsor shots. Anybody want to thank for getting the victory here tonight in the 360s?
Again, the guys from Full Throttle Motorsports. Congratulations on Clay on the 2nd place. And, we all work well together. Fun part of the team. Good bunch of guys. They keep this old guy running fast as they can and, keep me from being cranky, too. So I got to thank those guys. Andy Patton, hometown AJ Customs Creations. It was his idea to bring the limited late models in and then sponsor him and then sponsor the sprints as well because Andy likes to do the sprints, so we got to thank him. And I think he's coming back next season, too, so that's good. And we'll have fun on Wednesday. And, Adam, we got to thank you for doing the telecast and bringing it to the people at home. And thanks to Coast for giving us a league to go play. And I think it looks like Randy might have got the 2 championships, so congratulations to Randy. He's had a hell of a year.
Well, I know it's going to be close between him and Landis here in the 360s.
Yeah, they were the only 2. Gavin Shaw was just outside the area where he could win, but it was definitely between Terry and Randy, and I'm just waiting for Patrick. Patrick will get the points done, and then once he gets the points done, I'll throw it in the Discord to who's the champion.
Alrighty, well, congrats there, Dean. And are we going to see you come out on track for the midgets?
I don't do the little people. I'm going to sit back and watch a little bit, and then at 9 o'clock, I'm going to put the wing back on and go 360 races again. So.
Alrighty, well, have yourself a great night there, Dean.
All right, Adam, take care. Thank you again.
All right, Alan Dean Reynolds, our winner here in the 360s. I appreciate everybody watching so far. We'll be back in just a few moments. So yet again, here with the Real Raps Midgets here at Coast to Coast Racing Network.
friends, it's time for another edition of RSN Trackside, powered by Bob Johnson Auto Group on Rock Sports Network. Gets on the champion, trying to be a bit of a hiatus, so let's get.
Tonight we talked about it.
Outpouring of love was amazing. These dollars had come together to support us, and we realized no, we didn't want to use them for us. We wanted to use them to help others.
The foundation has done so much for so many people. It helps any family that has somebody, whether it be a crew member or one of the drivers, that get hurt. We can help them to get through the situation.
I was injured in a non-wing sprint car accident that broke my neck and left me with a spinal cord injury. In the hospital 8 months, and it got really, really expensive, so having that extra help to help push me and my family forward was a big deal.
I was involved in a pretty gnarly sprint car crash. Found out my brain was swelling and bleeding. Pelvic bone was broken. I had 2 cracked vertebrae on my back, and I was in the ICU a little over a week. The Steve King Foundation reached out to my parents. We received a donation from them. Immediately they started me on what's called neurofeedback, and insurance did not cover the neurofeedback appointments. So we received another donation from the Steve King Foundation. It really helped a lot, and I just want to say thank you from the bottom of my heart to the Steve King Foundation for everything that they have done for me. This last Sunday I got to turn laps in my modified here. That was my first laps back in a race car since the accident, and I truly believe that if it wasn't for the Steve King Foundation, I wouldn't be able to do that or be where I'm at today.
Yes, Steve's death is the reason the foundation exists, but it's Steve's life, and it's the lives of racers everywhere, is the reason we're able to do the work we do.
Precision is our language. Creativity is our weapon. And perfection is the only option. Your ride, your brand, your image, elevated to a level that can't be ignored. This isn't just a wrap, it's a revolution. Regal Wraps and Designs, where power meets style, and style becomes unforgettable. At Regal Wraps and Designs, we don't follow trends, we set them. Every line, every finish, every detail is built to dominate. From flawless vehicle wraps to bold custom designs, we take your vision and redefine it. Seamless statements, artful accents, hues of harmony. We are Regal Wraps and Designs.
All right, we're here at the Chili Bowl. Hey, what you driver here is Landis. Let's go ahead and look at your 360. Oh, I'm sorry, no, your not your 360. Your midget points. Jack hit out front with 828 points. Terry Landis with 732 in second. So it'll be interesting to see how this plays out. Templeton though out there in front. as your fastest right now. Templeton's there in a third spot with 728 points. Qualifying gets underway. Here in just a moment. Don't pay attention to that sign at the moment. We are in the moment of fixing that. There you watch there, 31 of Templeton out there on track. Bob the Good out there on track as well in that number 7 machine. Terry Landis out there in the number 30. Terry Landis. Oh, I'm sorry. 7 Goldner. Stephen Goldner. Bob the Good there in 8. Right now, Jeff Barker, he's there in 7th out of Brewerton, New York. Randy Shreves qualifying 2nd right now with 11.292. Spangler back here towards the bottom with 11.873. Jack Hitt with 11.316. Maverick Seidel out here in the number 26, working his way around the speedway. We'll have an 11.748. Bachman out there right now. He's trying to lay down his time here in that FTM. Number 007. And he works there off turn number 3 and 4 out here across the stripe. I believe. Unless I got it backwards here. We'll see. Trying to see which way this track is oriented to me. He comes there out of the corner. We're going to slow it down just a moment so I can get oriented to the track. Yeah, it's the front stretch here that we're looking from. So Templeton with 11.083 as your leader here tonight around the Chili Bowl. And we get set and lined up here for heat number 1 here shortly. Who's it going to be here to win the points for the I don't think this has been updated yet, but we'll see here. 360, Randy Shreves comes over top of Terry Landis with 691 to 649. So Randy Shreves has the 360 and the limited late models here during your Hometown Heroes Night, brought to you by A&J Custom Creations. Tonight's midgets, Jack Hitt and Terry Landis, going to be the couple that end up battling through it, I think. Templeton might not be all that far out of it if we look at the drop week, so it's going to be interesting to see how this plays out. We got heat number 1 on the grid. We got Brandon Templeton, Jack Hitt out there in second in that 217. The 30 of Stephen Goldner there starts third. Isaac Salas in that 5 starts fourth. Maverick Seidel, the 26, starts fifth. Pat Boyes in 41 will start 6th. The 7 of Bob the Good will start 7th. Alright, try to make sure we got the best action here around the speedway. These laps are going to tick away quickly here. 8 laps. They come down here in the 1, down there around out of 2. On that short backstretch before swinging it back again in the corner number 3. And around 1 goes. He's up there towards the top side. Might have been Salas in that number 5. And we're down there out of the corner. Working on now through here. We got Salas back here at the back. It was Salas that went around there a little bit. Maverick up here in 3rd. Now we see him working here off of the corner. He worked up there off the top side, down here through the front stretch once again in the corner number 1. Jack Hick now out there in front over top of Brandon Templeton. As Templeton's trying to get back up there towards the front. Working that bottom side down there along that curve. That curve, it can definitely beat up a car if you catch it wrong. And Jack Hick disappeared on us. Unsure what happened to Jack Hitt there. They come there off the corner. Final lap here for Brandon Templeton, who's leading the way down here out of corner number 3 and 4 they go. Unofficial results out here on the board. Take a look here at Jack Hitt real fast. Where I'm sure exactly what happened here to him. We watch him come up there to his top side. He gets into the outside wall of it. He was in the lead. And then coming down through here, this is where I lost him. He went up onto the wall and upside down. There's why I couldn't see him. He was upside down. Tough break there for Jack Hitt. And your Heat 1 results, they're going to be Brandon Templeton getting the win. Stephen Goldner there in 2nd. Maverick Seidel there in 3rd. Bob DeGood there for Isaac Salas 5th. Pat Boyce there in 6th. Jack Hitt 7th. And I really like this. We got 2 heats here tonight. Normally we only end up with 1 for the midgets, but here we got 2 heats tonight. So this will be fun here at Jelly Bowl tonight. Randy Shreves getting the pole here in heat number 2. Brandon Dittmer there in 2nd. Jeff Barker in 3rd. Sam Bachman 4th. Terry Landis there 5th. Patrick Spangler 6th. And Clay Cruz Thompson rounding out your field there in 7th. Man, oh man, what a night here. We got 2 heat races for the midgets. Again, they are 8 laps for the distance. We get set to rock and roll here. You watch them coming out of corner number 4 there. There they go, round 1 and 2. That Hot Wheels machine of that 56 Randy Shreves out there on the bottom side. Wrapping up both Limited Late Model and the 360 championships. Baker stops the dot, take the grid. Sam Bachman up there in the 007. Down here, out of corner number 1 they go. Or out of 4, I'm sorry. Out of corner number 4, down across here through the strike. In the corner number 1 they go, sliding away. Trying to keep everybody under control. Oh no! We got one up and over. I believe that was Jeff Barker, who went up and over into turn number 1. That curve really coming out and catching him. They got Randy Shreves there in 2nd, trying to get up there to battle with Dittmer. As Dittmer leading the way in that Venom Racing, number 83. Sam Bachman there in 3rd. With Patrick there in 4th. As Spangler tries to hang on, there he is up there along the top cushion. Getting around Landis right now. Or is Landis getting there? Oh, well, I don't know. We'll figure it out here. We got 5 laps to go in the corner number 3 and 4. Up there to the top side is Patrick Spangler. Running there up there really well right now with 4 laps to go. Getting up there to the outside of Bachman. He'll get around Bachman now. Shreve still in 2nd. As Spangler is catching him there with Dittmer out there in front. Gonna maybe worry here behind them a little bit, but I don't know. There's 3 laps to go with Patrick Spangler and Randy Shreves in second and third. Down here through the front stretch with Dittmer in front. 2 laps to go. They work down that back straightaway once again. Shreves in second, Patrick Spangler third. Working there off down there on the bottom side. Look at Dittmer use that cushion to help rotate that car around turn number 4 down there on the bottom side. As they work down there through. He's down there once again, down there on the bottom. Hooks it down there on the bottom line again. And here comes Shreves, the unofficial results. Dittmer, then Shreves, then Spangler. Your top 3 here in heat number 2. All right, here we go. Brandon Dittmer getting the win here tonight with Randy Shreves second, Patrick Spangler third. Bachman there fourth, Terry Landis fifth, Jeff Barker 6th, Clay Christopherson in 7th. We'll be back here after this short message as we get ready for warm-up.
Precision is our language. Creativity is our weapon. And perfection is the only option. Your ride, your brand, your image, elevated to a level that can't be ignored. This isn't just a wrap, it's a revolution. Regal Wraps and Designs, where power meets style, and style becomes unforgettable. At Regal Wraps and Designs, we don't follow trends, we set them. Every line, every finish, every detail is built to dominate. From flawless vehicle wraps to bold custom designs, we take your vision and redefine it. Seamless statements, artful accents, hues of harmony. We are Regal Wraps and Designs.
All right, you're watching warm-ups take place here. SGR machine there out of that 30. Steven Goldner. Terry Landis there in third fastest right now. Black flag for Jack Hitt. Might have had an issue there on pit road. Their best times are being shown there during warm-ups. And we got to really watch, as that cushion's going to get real thin here tonight. We got a nice group of drivers here coming in down there on the bottom side. He's trying to work that bottom. There you see the 26 of Maverick. Reeves out there in front. Templeton there in second. Landis back here. He's sitting in fourth fastest right now in that 161. And again, your points leader, Jack Hitt, then Terry Landis, and then Templeton. And Jack Hitt, sixth fastest right now. Landis there in fourth. And Templeton out in front. Now you want them to come out there, warm up, and then we're getting ready for your feature event. Whoa! Landis ends up coming down there across the speedway, parking it there on the inside. Your starting grid for your feature. Brandon Templeton out there in front in that number 31. Brandon Dittmer starting there in second in that car, number 83. In third, that's going to be starting the number 30 of Steven Goldner with Randy Shreves in the car, number 56. Starting fourth. Maverick Seidel in the fifth. Will be running that car, number 26, Patrick Spangler. Car number 39 in sixth tonight. Starting in seventh, that's going to be the 7 of Bob DeGood with Sam Bachman there in eighth in car number 007. And ninth, that's going to be the number 5 of Isaac Salas. Terry Landis there in the 161. Starting 10th. And 11th, that's going to be Pat Boyce in car number 41. Jeff Barker Car number 513 rolls off in 12th. And at 13th tonight, that's going to be Jack Hitt in at 217. Starting 13th with Clay Gustafson. Starting 14th in car number 051. That is your field here tonight. I'm so happy to see such a great field here for your viewing pleasure of the midgets here tonight. Now we got 40 laps the distance. Green flag is out. They're down the way, down the front stretch here. As they work off through the corner, down here through the front stretch. There we got, look out. Down here, off of turn number 4 they go. Down through the front stretch. Regal Wrap midgets here tonight. Being led right now by Brandon Dittmer. Oh, and up and over goes Patrick Spangler. Now he'll do a 360, get it spun back around there, and continues on his way. Now we're on lap number 3, down through, off the back straightaway. Brandon Templeton out front. You're looking there at Brandon Dittmer knows he's down there on the bottom side. Here on lap number 4 of the 40. Down through, onto the back stretch once again here in turn 3 with Templeton out front. Yellow flag is out. Harry Landis, Jeff Barger, all involved. Landis on his side. There you see Landis up there on the top side. Gets caught up there with Salas. And ends up there on the top side and then just collect up there on the top. Spangler there in the number 39. You see there's the 5513 and Jeff Barker as well as they get it all sorted out here. First caution. Down through the back straight away. Brandon Dittmer there in second. Randy Shreves there in a third. Stephen Goldner there in a fourth. Maverick Seidel there in fifth. Bachman there in sixth. Bobby Good there in seventh. Or somewhere around there. I think I'm there off turn number 2 down that back straight away. Pace car pulls in there side by side. Getting ready for the start here as they come out of 4. Templeton getting a great jump now. He ends up there on the bottom side. Going to have to really fight for it now as Dittmer is up to his outside. Down there on the inside is Templeton, and he comes there off the corner. He does have the lead for the moment as he slides it down there on the bottom of 1 and 2. Down through the back straightaway. Landis now with a black flag, possibly speeding, exiting pit road as they work down there off of corner number 2. Down there out of corner number 1 and 2. Now, Pat Boyce, Terry Landis involved. We'll see who's all involved in this one. Caution number 2. And got Patrick Spangler back here at the back. Up there against that outside wall. Coming there in the corner number 3. Gustafson ends up around and collects Boyce and the 39. There you see Landis trying to work his way through. Templeton out front. Right now, leading the way with Dittmer there in second. These guys really battling it hard up here at the front. You see that 31 Dirt Track Bank sponsored machine driven by Templeton. To his outside is Brandon Dittmer for Venom Racing. Off the corner they go, down here in the corner number 1. Templeton getting a great start. Dittmer eyes up there to the outside. Gets a great run though as he gets it back under control down here through turn 3 and 4. Then you got one of them jumping the curve down there through off the corner. And there you watch him. Mid-pack. The 30 there of Stephen Goldner down on the bottom side. Here comes that FTM machine. That 007 of Sam Bachman going 3 wide here off turn 2. Squeezing it there. Coming off. Does a great job keeping it under control as he's slinging it around the top side. You see Spangler down there. He's trying to work his way back up towards the front. Around goes Salas, I believe. Salas gets it back under control. And back underway. We've seen a few drivers do that here tonight as Templeton still leads the way. Dittmer there in second. Shreves up there in a third. Up there along that top side. Stephen Goldner there in fourth. Bachman there fifth. Jack Hitt back here in sixth. And Hooters machine. As they roll down here, 28 laps to go. Out of corner number 3 and 4. Up there to the top side. And down across the stripe. Brandon Templeton out front. Dittmer there second. Randy Shreves there third. Stephen Goldner there fourth. Sam Bachman fifth. Jack Hitt sixth. Patrick Spangler there seventh. Isaac Salas eighth. Maverick Seidel there in 9th. Bobby Good there in 10th. As they're working on down here. Templeton leading the way. Slings that dirt around here at Chili Bowl with Brandon Dittmer there in second. Randy Shreves back here in a third. Stephen Goldner there fourth. Bachman up here at fifth. Jack Hitt sixth. Now you watch them all storm down through here. Off the corner. And slide on down to off of 1 and 2 down the back straightaway. Dittmer there in center. You're watching Templeton out front. Randy Shreves here in third. He's trying to get that bottom side to work now. Goldner is there in fourth. Trying to figure out the bottom side or top side. There you see Jack Hitt in fifth. Bachman there in sixth. Up there in the outside wall. He goes up and over. That's going to bring out caution. Bachman ends up into the outside wall. To bring out caution number 3. And then he's up there against there. And he ends up coming down through in the corner number 3 and 4 and could not get it off the wall. And it just shoots him straight here into the catch barrier. Right there at the beginning of turn 3. So third caution. All right, here you go. Out of corner number 4. Down here through the front straightaway. 20 laps to go with Templeton out front. Dittmer there second. Stephen Goldner there in third. Randy Shreves there in fourth. Jack Hitt rolling there in fifth. Patrick Spangler, you're watching them there on your screen, there in sixth. They got 3 wide. Salas down there on the inside. You got Jack Hitt up there on the outside. Spangler trying to split the difference. They come there out of the corner. 18 laps to go. Here as they come out of turn 4. Templeton out front. 17 laps to go now. They head through 1 and 2. We got Chris Starvison into the outside wall once again there through turn 1 and 2. Jack Hitt, as we said, there in 6th. Stephen Goldner there in 3rd. Shreves there 4th. Salas there 5th. Dittmer, he's out there in a 2nd. With Templeton out there in 1st. They work on that crew here. We got Patrick Spangler in 7th. Jeff Parker there 8th. Maverick Seidel there in 9th. They come there off of corner 15 there to go. 14 to go. And Templeton comes across the strike into 1. And off of 2. Dittmer there 2nd. Goldner there 3rd. Salas, he'll get up there in the 4th. He gets around Randy Shreves. Shreves there working back underneath him. They work down here in the corner number 1 and 2. 13 laps to go. We got another one over. That is Salas up and over on the backstretch. And we got caution number 4. You see Salas there up top. Coming in through turn 1 and 2. Ends up there into the outside wall. Gets it picked up. Laid over right in front of Jack Hitt. There you're seeing the 217 and Jack Hitt, 4th caution of the night. Salas is out. Templeton, your race leader there in that dirt track bank. Racing Machine. Pace car is off. We're getting ready to go. Back green flag racing. And we're there off the corner. Great job. Templeton out there in the front. Dittmer there 2nd. Stephen Goldner there in 3rd. Randy Shreves there 4th. Jack Hitt there in 5th. Patrick Spangler in 6th as he's down here on the bottom side. Up there towards the top side. That's Jeff Barker on the inside. There you see Jeff Barker down on the inside. Brandon Dittmer, he's running 2nd right now in that Venom Racing Machine. He's got a similar paint job to Isaac Salas, but Salas ends up out, as we said. 10 laps to go. Dittmer up there in 2nd. Templeton out front. Hitt now up there in the 3rd as he works around Randy Shreves. So Jack Hitt finally getting the number here at Chili Bowl. They work down there. He really bouncing off that inside curve. Trying to get it around on the bottom side. He's trying to make sure he wraps that championship up. But as we said, we got a few drivers that might be trying to fight for it. We got Terry Landis and Brandon Templeton coming there behind him. And right now, Brandon Templeton up there in the front. Dittmer there in 2nd. Shreves sitting 3rd. That Jack Hitt now pulls that away as Shreves still battles it out on that top side. 5th caution now. Spangler has issues once again here tonight. There you watch Spangler there coming out of 2, up there against that outside wall, and he'll take that same ride that we saw Salas take. Or I'm not sorry, not Salas. Oh man, I forget who we saw took the exact same ride. Spangler going to call it done. All right, here we go. A few laps. Got a few more laps to go here. Coming in out front, Dittmer there 2nd. Shreves there in 3rd. Off the corner, green flag is out. 5 laps to go for Brandon Templeton out there in the front as they work there off the corner. Dittmer there second, Randy Shreves there third. Jack Hitt in fourth. They roll it down there off turn number 4. Cross the front straightaway here in the corner number 1 and 2. 4 laps to go there for Templeton and Dittmer as they roll down through the backstretch. Randy Shreves there third. Jack Hitt fourth. Jeff Barker there fifth. Stephen Goldner there sixth. Maverick Seidel there in seventh. Clayton Gustafson in 8th, and they roll it on out here. 3 laps to go. Templeton out front. Dittmer there in second. Jack Hitt now battling there with Shreves. Once again, as Shreves backs it up there against the outside wall, that's going to allow Barker to get underneath him. As they work down here through 1 and 2 once again. Jack Hitt up there towards the top side. Jeff Barker working there on the bottom. Dittmer up there in second. Templeton there in front. Final lap here for Templeton as he works down the back straightaway through turn 3 and 4 here at Chili Bowl. He will bring home the winner. Your winner is Brandon Templeton here in the Regal Wrap Midgets division at Chili Bowl. Brandon Dittmer there second, Jack Hitt third. Jeff Barker back here in fourth. Randy Shreves in fifth. Those are your unofficial. We'll get official results here in just a quick moment here as they finish tallying it all up. There we go. There we see it. Brandon Templeton getting the win. Brandon Dittmer there second. Jack Hitt third. Jeff Barker fourth. Randy Shreves fifth. And sixth, Stephen Goldner. Clayton Thompson there seventh. Maverick Seidel there eighth. Bob DeGood there in ninth. Pat Boyce there in 10th. Terry Landis 11th. Sam Bachman there 12th. Patrick Spangler 13th. And Isaac Salas 14th here tonight. Now quickly to see where he out. If we can get with our, if anybody's coming in for a interview, we got Brandon Dittmer here. Good evening there, Brandon. How's it going?
Not so bad. How about you?
I'm doing fairly well, man. You had a pretty good run there tonight in the midgets.
Yeah, this is a technical track. I absolutely love this place. This place in Houston, it's the 2 tracks that I will always run at whenever I see it on schedule.
Yeah, this is one of them tracks I avoid when I see it on schedule.
I don't blame you. I don't blame you.
I really haven't gotten into running the midgets too much yet, so maybe that might be a difference. That might be a game changer running the midgets, but yeah, whenever I see it on the schedule for the 305s or something like that, I miss it. I don't race that week.
That's fair enough.
It's to me, it's the track's too small for that.
For the midgets?
No, for the 305s.
Oh, for the 305s. Oh, the 305s are always a fun time. We had a couple races in C2C at the Chili Bowl with the 305s. They actually turned out to be pretty good races.
Yeah, it's not for me. I'd rather take the midgets or the micros. Micro stuff's pretty good.
Micros are pretty fun.
But great job there for second place. You got sponsor shots. Anybody you want to thank there for getting second place tonight?
Oh, just you for broadcast. Everybody behind the scenes for Coast to Coast doing the work. JRB Designs for the new wrap. He did an amazing job. The Venom Racing boys, always a great crowd to run with and great to hang out with. And everybody around up front for really good racing. It was a lot of fun.
Alrighty, well, congrats again on second place here tonight, Brandon.
Thank you.
You have yourself a great night.
You as well.
Alright, Brandon Dittmer, and I will get with Brandon Templeton. We'll wait a moment here to get with Jack. Good evening there, Brandon. How's it going?
Good, how are you?
I'm doing well. How do you think you felt out there in front tonight?
That's the best I've felt in an iRacing car probably all season since they've done the updates. I've been fighting technical issues and lack of talent and all kinds of issues, but tonight finally put it together.
Well, you did a great job, and do you think you... let me look here if I'm looking at the right... yeah, okay. Do you think either you or Landis put together a run at Jack Hitt tonight?
I don't believe so. I mean, we'll have to see where they fall, but I think Jack had a tremendous season. You know, he probably deserves this championship. I was a little out of control a couple races, had a couple DNFs where I could have just hung on and finished the race, but lesson learned. And, nothing away from Jack. He had a hell of a season, and I mean, he's there every night. If you're not 100% on your game, you know, he's on your bumper. So tonight was another example. You know, I think he started clearing the back, and he's right up there at the end challenge. And so hats off to him for a good season.
Well, great job there to you too, Templeton. And you got sponsor shot. Anybody you want to thank?
Yeah, I got to thank Jay with Dirt Track Bank there in Malvern. You can get their app. Put a deposit in, you know, everything helps for giving racer loans and stuff like that for him to be able to have collateral to give loans against. So hats off to him. Thanks to him for helping out our team and iRacing and everything he's done in the past with Coast to Coast and everything. So got your 6 Racing Network, the guys at Hammer Down Racing, Joe, Kurt, Brian, Mike, you for putting on an awesome stream, Fleeger Farms, everybody watching at home, everybody helping in the background at Coast to Coast. Thank you.
All right, well, you guys have a great night there, Brandon, and congrats again on the victory here in the midgets.
Thank you.
All right, well, Brandon, now we'll get with Jack Hick. Good evening here, Jack. How's it going?
Good, how you doing, Adam?
Well, you started 13th and got yourself a third-place finish here tonight.
Yeah, we don't need to talk about why I started 13th, but it was fun. You know, we had a pretty good car count and a lot of good racing.
There was a lot of great racing out there, and we'll have to see how the numbers stack up to see if you definitely come away with the championship here in the Regal Raps Midgets.
Yeah, I don't try to act like I can figure the drop weeks in. I'll let Patrick let us update on that later, but either way, it's been a great season. You know, Brandon's won more races than me, but I think I've kind of been a little more consistent, so just glad we got to have a good car counting here, good race. Would have liked another 15 laps to see what I've had for Brandon, but it was a lot of fun.
Well, you did a great job tonight, and you got sponsor shot. Anybody you want to thank for getting third place tonight?
No, I just got to thank you for doing the broadcast. Everybody behind the scenes making things go around. All the drivers, the 13 other drivers here, the hundreds of other drivers in the league, you know, without everybody, this thing isn't exactly what it is. So, shout outs to everybody for a good season, and hopefully catch everybody in a couple weeks. And I gotta thank my wife for giving me time to do it.
Better not forget that one.
Yeah.
Well, great job there, Jack. I am very pleased to see the car count was up tonight. Having 2 heats of midgets instead of just one. That really make me happy, so.
Yeah, maybe we should just run Chili Bowl every week next season.
Well, that's up to you drivers.
We'll have to run that one by somebody.
All right. Well, you have yourself a great night there, Jack, and congrats on a great season.
Yeah, thanks, Adam.
All right, that was Jack Hitt, your third-place finisher here tonight. Possibly he's definitely in the running for the championship. We got to wait for the official tallies to figure out who exactly got it, but he is definitely one of the contenders. So great job there by him tonight. Thank you all for watching here at Coast to Coast Racing Network and over at Fleeger Farm TV. And we'll catch you later. And here in just a few moments, we'll be back live over here at Fleeger Farm, over there at Fleeger Farm TV for our FMA. So yeah, be sure to check out Fleeger Farm TV if you want more racing action tonight. But here at Coast to Coast Racing Network, we are done. Thank you all for watching. We had a great night of dirt track racing. Catch you all tomorrow night here at Coast to Coast Racing Network for more dirt track racing action. Good night.